All right, moving on now. You haven't had a chance to see American Ultra yet, have you? I know it's not out over here where I am, but it's out in Australia. Have you? You haven't had a chance to see it?
Nah, it's only been out a couple of days, and between work, the only thing I've really been able to see was Straight Outta Compton.
No, that's fair enough. Have you
Oh,
seen
no,
ha,
no problem.
Have you seen these tweets that have been going around from Max Landis, the writer?
Yeah, yes, I have.
So this is hilarious stuff, right?
Absolutely incredible.
So basically, what's happened here is American Ultra has come out, and its first week, I think it came number 12 at the box office. Oh, sorry, its first week it came out number 6, and then its second week it
Yeah,
dropped to number 12, dropped 50%, almost 50%.
yeah,
And at the moment on Rotten Tomatoes, it's a 47%, which means the majority of
yeah,
the critics don't like it, and the
yeah.
audience.
Metacritic, it has a 50% as well.
Okay, and that's the critic score.
Yeah,
And it's got a 55% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. So basically, I don't know, that's not the worst movie. I mean, Fantastic Four was much worse. This is not, it's not that's not a disaster, but it's not doing too well,
no,
basically. I don't think it's
that's a rotten score according to Rotten
a
Tomatoes.
rotten score. That's fucking,
Yeah, it's got the
yeah,
green
because you
mush
have to
tomato
be
as opposed to the red
60% or above or
tomato.
something, or two-thirds or something. Anyway,
Yeah, I think, yeah, 65% or something.
yeah.
I don't know.
So basically, Max, I don't think is too happy about this. It was a bit hard to say.
Evidently.
And he's come out with a bit of what we would call a Twitter rant, I think. Is that what you would call it?
Yeah, I would exactly call it that. There was a lot of posts.
So I'm going to read these out, and I think we should take them step by step. Right. So here's
All
what he
right.
says. This is the 23rd of August. Here's an interesting question. American Ultra finished dead last at the box office, behind even Mission Impossible and Man from U.N.C.L.E. That's his first tweet. So first of all, dead
Yeah,
last. That came in at number 6. That's not. Is that dead last? What is considered
that
dead
doesn't sound
last?
like
It's
it.
not good, but it's.
I was gonna say it'd be dead last out of the new movies, but he just
Oh,
specifically mentioned Man from U.N.C.L.E. and Mission
right,
Impossible, so
right. So maybe it was about
that
new
could be right.
movies. Okay, so that's fair enough. Dead last. Anyway, it's not doing well. And American Ultra was also beaten by critically revealed Hitman Agent 47 and Sinister, despite being a better reviewed film than either. So this
Right.
is a thing that we've spoken about before, right? Critic ratings don't really matter at the box office. They're pretty
No,
much
the audience
no.
rating is something, but
Well, the audience rating counts
critic
because
ratings they
the
don't
box office is driven by the audience, and there's going to
exactly.
be
And if the audience ratings are good, then you're gonna go out and tell your friends, "Oh, that movie is pretty good. You should go watch it."
yeah, but that might have an effect in the following weeks. But in the first week, ratings and particular critic ratings, we don't think that it really has much of an impact on the box office takings.
Yeah, agreed.
Basically, if your movie's rubbish, it's not going to do well at the box office. If your
Exactly, and
but if your movie's good, it might not do very well either. But
that's right. But the opening box office figures, as we've discussed before as well, don't necessarily reflect how successful the movie will ultimately be.
yeah, yeah, you've got
So
cult classics and things like that. Cult classics, generally speaking, don't do well at the box office, but become hugely popular on DVD and video on demand and so on.
right,
So
and that's through audience reviews that people hear about it. Like they hear it from their friends that it's a good movie, and they go out and watch it themselves.
exactly,
That takes
exactly.
time.
If your movie's really bad, it'll do really bad at the box office and at critic ratings. And I think that's, again, the most recent example is Fantastic Four on that one. It got absolutely panned by audience and critics. And I
Yeah.
mean, I haven't seen the movie yet, but from everything that I'm hearing, it's not a very good movie. So,
No, I haven't seen it yet either, to be honest.
so continuing on the Twitter rant, Which leads me to a bit of conundrum. Why American Ultra had good ads, big stars, a fun idea, and honestly, it's a good movie. Certainly better than the internet's opinion. Certainly better than the internet's opinion and other things released at the same day. If you saw it, you probably didn't hate it. So I'm left with an odd thing here, which is that American Ultra lost to a sequel reboot, a biopic, a sequel, and a reboot. Okay, so there's a few things to cover up there. First of all, he says in this part here, it had good ads, big stars, and a fun idea. Who is seeing movies for, what is it, Kirsten Stewart or whatever? No one's seeing movies for her.
Yeah.
Jesse Eisenberg, maybe you could say, but I think mostly the mainstream audience isn't that keen on him either. Like, they're not going to see a movie for him. They're not that. They're not that big.
They're not A-list.
They're not draw cards.
Jesse Eisenberg, he did Now You See Me, and he's doing like Man of Steel, or the new Batman vs Superman and stuff.
Oh, he might have the potential to get big, but I don't know if he's there yet. Yeah.
Yeah. Same with Kristen Stewart. But he hasn't really done a lot of mainstream blockbuster movies or anything.
No, and actually, I don't actually think she's too bad an actress overall. But she's not what I would call a draw card, unless you're after the tweens. But the other thing he says in here is that, what does he say here? Oh, it has good ads. Here's the problem. Later on in his rants, his Twitter rant, he actually goes on to say that, the reason he understands now why it didn't do so well is because people had never heard of the movie, but when they did, they saw it and they liked it. So which one is it? Does it have good ads or does it not have good ads? Yeah,
it's a good point. If it had good ads, people would have seen the ads.
So he says it has good ads here. He must have assumed it has good ads. Maybe he had a change of mind. That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the sequel? So he makes a point here. It lost to a sequel, a reboot sequel, a biopic, a sequel, and a reboot.
Right.
That's true. I think that's a good point. There are a lot of sequels and reboots coming out. But
that's true.
But
of course it's going to lose to them though. Like, they already have an ingrained fan base.
Exactly right. I mean, you have an advantage by being a sequel, that's for sure. But that's not to say that good movies can't do better than that. We were talking about Inside Out earlier, which is one of the most successful animated pictures. Not as successful as Minions, which is a sequel.
Yeah.
But Inside Out was completely original, and it was hugely successful.
Yeah, that's right.
What other movie was hugely successful this year, or for what it was anyway? Ex Machina. Completely original idea, small budgeted indie film, did really well.
Yeah, not a major cinema release, like lots of cinemas didn't get it, but where it came out, it did really well.
Yeah. Most of the Oscar movies last year, I think, were original ideas as well. Original movies are at a slight disadvantage, but that's not to say that they won't do well, basically, is what the story is.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's keep going. It seems that reviews don't even matter. The movie didn't matter. The argument that will be made is big level original ideas don't make money. Well, that's exactly what we were saying before. Reviews don't matter. That's right. Too bad, so sad. That's the business.
Exactly.
You have to have a good movie to make good money.
And that said, his reviews haven't been that good anyway.
That's exactly right. 1 in 2 people basically are liking the movie.
Yeah, a 50-50 split is not a good movie.
Well, that's right.
It's not a bad movie.
What substitutes the movie?
Not a good movie.
Well, I mean, what makes a movie good? Who knows? It's all subjective.
That's right.
But I also don't think it's a complete disaster. Like, it's not a. It's
not a flop, really.
Yeah.
Like, they could have done better, but it's not written off.
Am I... Oh, hold on. Where am I up to? Continuing on. The question is, has that changed? I wish I could say that Ultra was a bad movie, but it isn't. Divisive, sure, but better than others this week. Well, it didn't do better than at the box office than others. Again, it goes down to what do you mean by better?
Yeah, that's right.
If you've made a good movie, don't complain about it. If you are complaining because it didn't make enough money, then yeah, it didn't make money because it wasn't good enough.
Yeah. And if it is good enough, then give it more than a week and maybe it'll make money.
Exactly. Anyway, which it didn't, because we've given it 2 weeks now. It's absolutely dropped.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
The question is, am I wrong? Our original idea is over. I wanted to pose that to the public because I feel, put it lightly, confused. I feel like I learned a lesson here, but I have no idea what it is. I once joked there would be only so many times people would go see Thor 2. Anyway, what do you think about this rant, this Twitter rant that's gone on?
Well, I don't know.
I haven't seen the movie.
Point.
I'll put it. I haven't seen the movie. You have not seen the movie.
Yeah,
so it could be a good movie. I really am not judging the movie here.
From the trailer, it actually doesn't look that bad. Like I am interested in watching it.
I thought the trailer looked terrible. I really thought it looked just the stupidest shit. But that's only a trailer. That doesn't, we all know there's pleasant surprises and there's huge disappointments. The trailer doesn't mean all that much.
That's right. But it's the Jesse Eisenberg and Kristen Stewart. I think they did a really good job in Adventureland a couple years ago.
Yeah, I wasn't that big a fan of that movie, but yeah.
It wasn't the best movie, but I think they did really well in it. Same as like Ryan Reynolds. Like that cast really kind of made the movie worth watching, in my opinion.
Right.
And so I think that they work really well together on screen, which is why I would be interested in watching American Ultra. But it's interesting he says the original ideas fail because, to be honest, there's not really that original an idea. Like, we've seen stoner movies, we've seen sleeper agent movies. Like,
in fact, as you just pointed out, we've seen Eisenberg and Kristen Stewart in something before. It was called Adventureland.
Yeah, it was a stoner movie.
Even the cast is not original. Maybe that's actually what turned people off, because I don't think Adventureland was that big a hit, and they thought it might have been something similar. Who knows?
Yeah.
Basically, it could be a good movie. Who knows? But what is the story? Why does he feel like he has to go on this rant of tweets? And do you think he's complaining? Is this complaining?
Yeah. I think that anyone who kind of comes out with this stuff, like Chris Trank did it with Fantastic Four as well.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're right, like, it really just sounds petty in the end. Like,
exactly.
If you come out and say all this stuff, like, it's just going to make you...
Makes you sound like a douchebag.
Like a crybaby.
A drongo. Exactly. An absolute drongo, as we would say.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So,
and like, if the movie's going to do well, like, you need the movie to stand on its own. You can't make excuses for it or complain about it or whatever.
It's weird that he gets so defensive, because as far as I can see is most people who don't like the movie aren't necessarily annoyed at the script. I don't know. Some people might be, but at the end, some movies really suffer because of the script. But most movies can have a good script, but at the end of the day, the quality of the movie or how successful it is can often fall at the feet of the director, not the writer. And it seems like he's getting really, really defensive over these bad scores, when it's probably not even really... It's probably more to do with the director than the script. Well, I don't understand why it's coming off as so defensive. Anyway, it's interesting because I think it sounds like complaining, and I think it's a drongo move to complain after the fact like this. And I don't know. Do you watch Red Letter Media? Red Letter Media did a review of American Ultra where they covered off on these tweets as well towards the end of the review. I don't know if you've seen it, but if you should definitely check out their channel, Red Letter Media. They do awesome movie reviews.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of them before. I haven't seen the American Ultra one, but
Yeah, but they covered off on this, and they sort of said he was complaining as well. And then he went back onto Twitter to have a go at Red Letter Media. So he's gone back on there, and he's like, I'm not complaining, I'm just posing a question. I'm just posing a question to the audience. And I was like, you took about 15 tweets to pose a simple question. And the way in which it was posed sounds like
entirely different. Yeah.
You could ask, does Hollywood have too many remakes this day? Is there too many remakes and sequels? Do you think original movies are put at a disadvantage? And just left it at that. But no, he's talking about specifically where American Ultra finished on the box office, all the ads it had, etc., etc., etc. That is a specific whinge. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. He was implying that all of the shortcomings of the movie were unjustified.
It reminds me of like back in the day when there was segregation in sports. It's like someone's like, "Oh, we can't play with black people in basketball because they're too good. It's unfair." Well, that's life, mate. You got to live with it.